You know these trends. That glass skin look that's so luminous and clear, it looks like it was lit from within. Or the undeniable comeback of the frosted lip, that shimmery, icy look straight out of a Y2K time capsule. You see them all over your social media, on your favorite celebs, and probably in your own makeup bag. But what if I told you one of these has roots in centuries-old Korean beauty ideals, and the other comes from the golden age of Hollywood? Makeup is way more than just color. It's a reflection of our culture, our history, and who we want to be. Today, we're uncovering the history of the makeup looks you're seeing everywhere, tracing them from their ancient origins all the way to your TikTok feeds. Let's get loose. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Loose Lip Podcast. My name is Kelsey Ray, and I will be the MUA whose brain we will be picking today. I was sitting with my husband last night watching a documentary on Nobu, the famous Japanese and Peruvian chef that has taken the culinary world and made it his oyster. My husband and I were discussing how someone with a minimal beginning and without any nepotism to speak of could make an impressive empire from nothing. I mentioned how he created this fusion food, which really hadn't been a trend then, how Nobu created his signature style and his mesh of culture from Japanese cuisine that he had grown up on and loved, to his love for what he calls his second home, which is Peru, and their culinary culture. He created something all new no one had ever seen before, but countless had definitely copied since. He was the founder of this fusion, and that is what really lifted his career and made him the king of high-end dining that he is today. This made me wonder, just like in food, beauty has so many trends, and it is constantly reusing and recycling them. Where did those trends start? Where do they originate from, and who started them?
Glass skin.
Let's kick things off with one that has totally redefined our skincare goals: glass skin. If you've been online at all in the past few years, you've seen it. A complexion so impossibly smooth, dewy, and translucent, it looks like a perfect pane of glass. The hashtag glass skin has billions of views, and there are endless tutorials promising to help you get that glow. But this isn't just some fleeting internet fad. This trend is a direct import from South Korea, where the modern term for it is yori pibu. Now, the idea of this luminous, clear skin isn't new in Korea. It's a beauty standard with centuries of history. Historically, skin that was pale, smooth, and radiant was tied to your social status. Influenced by Confucian ideas of inner purity and refinement, a flawless complexion was seen as a sign of nobility, suggesting a life lived indoors, away from the sun. This ideal of perfect skin as a symbol of class has been a consistent thread throughout Korean history. What we call glass skin today is just the modern version of this long-standing cultural value. So how did we go from a historical Korean ideal to a global obsession? It all blew up in the late 2010s thanks to the holy trinity of modern culture: K-pop, K-dramas, and the incredible rise of K-beauty brands. As the world got hooked on Korean entertainment, people couldn't help but notice the impossibly perfect skin of its stars. This created a huge global demand for the secret to that glow. Entrepreneurs like Alicia Yoon, founder of the K-beauty platform Peach and Lily, were key to bringing that concept to the Western audience. Her glass skin refining serum, which launched in 2018, didn't just sell a product, it sold an entire philosophy to the US market. It's fascinating to see the then versus now. While the historical ideal was about appearing pristine and modern, glass skin routine is all about wellness and self-care. It's less about looking perfect and more about the ritual of getting healthy skin. The famous 10-step Korean skincare routine became legendary in the West, but in reality, that's more of a marketing framework than a strict rule. Most K-beauty fans personalize their routines. The real focus is on technique like double cleansing and, importantly, layering multiple lightweight, hydrating products. Essences, serums, and ampules packed with ingredients like hyaluronic acid are meticulously patted into the skin, a process often called skin flooding, to drench it with moisture from the inside out. The goal is to boost the skin's natural barrier and get a glow that comes from health, not makeup. This shift from covering up flaws to nourishing the skin is the true impact of the glass skin movement. It's not just a look, it's a whole new way of thinking about beauty.
Frosted lip.
All right, let's switch gears completely and talk about a trend that is pure, unapologetically makeup: the frosted lip. Just when you thought matte liquid lipsticks were here to stay, this icy, shimmery look made a huge comeback. Beauty lovers are once again rocking that cool-toned, metallic sheen that defined the turn of the millennium. Think of the early 2000s pop stars with their glossy, sparkly pout, often paired with way too much blush and pastel eyeshadow. I know for a fact I owned way too many Wet n Wild lipsticks with that chromatic, silvery undertone. Ugh, it was so beautiful. But if you think this trend started with flip phones, we need to go back a little bit farther. The real origin of frosted lips takes us to the silver screen of the 1950s and 60s. Hollywood was going through a massive technological change, and the introduction of vivid Technicolor gave makeup artists a whole new, vibrant way to play with makeup. The first frosted lips were created to give glamorous leading ladies a special glow with this new color technology. Think of Marilyn Monroe in the 1953 film Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Her iconic red lip had a subtle frosted dimension that made it pop on screen. A few years later, Elizabeth Taylor sported a frosted pink lip in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. This was now a big trend in Hollywood. As the trend moved into the 1960s, it got even more dramatic. The swinging 60s were all about bold, graphic, and futuristic looks. Mod icons like the supermodel Twiggy famously paired her dramatic graphic eyeliner with pale frosted lipstick. The frosted lips of this era were dense and opaque, a stark, almost otherworldly statement that was a perfect match for the era's avant-garde fashion. It was less about a subtle glow and more about a futuristic, doll-like look. Now we jump forward to the 1990s and early 2000s, and the frosted lip had its second big moment. This time, it was sheerer, glossier, and had major pop star attitude. Celebs like Kate Moss and Madonna brought it back into the 90s, but the Y2K era truly defined it for a new generation. Pop icons and reality TV stars like Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie made the frosted lip a go-to look. This version was often paired with a darker lip liner, creating this distinctive high-contrast style that is so 2000s. While the 60s frost was futuristic, the Y2K frost was playful, a little rebellious, and all about that glittery high shine finish. Today's rival is a cool mix of all of its past lives. Makeup technology has evolved, so new frosted lipsticks use finer, opalescent particles and micro glitters for a smoother finish that isn't chalky like some older versions. You can see hints of the pale 60s shimmer and the full-on 2000s glitter. It's a perfect example of how a trend never really dies. It just waits for a new generation to find its new way to make its mark.
Blush draping.
For a long time, blush was kind of a humble, overlooked product in the makeup bag, just used for simple, subtle flush. Then, all of a sudden, it was everywhere. It was loud. We're talking about the trend of bold blush, and more specifically, the technique of blush draping. Instead of a light dusting on the apples of the cheeks, draping used blush to sculpt the face, sweeping vibrant colors up from the cheekbones to the temples, often connecting it to the eyeshadow. This isn't your grandma's subtle rouge. This is blush making a statement. Like a lot of modern trends, this one had a huge comeback on social media, championed by celebrities like Rihanna and K-pop idols who used bold blush for artistic, high-fashion looks. The technique itself is a direct rival from the 70s and 80s. The term and technique were popularized by the legendary makeup artist Way Bandy, who worked with icons like Cher and Diana Ross. In an era before the heavy contouring we know today, Bandy used blush to create structure and definition. The 1980s especially was the decade of excess, and that definitely applied to blush. The look was bold, often using bright fuchsias and deep plums in a dramatic streak up to the hairline. It was all part of the power dressing vibe of the time, where makeup was as confident as shoulder pads. But the idea of using red pigment on the cheeks is one of the oldest forms of makeup ever. We can trace it all the way back to ancient Egypt, where people would mix ground red clay with fat to create a cheek stain. In ancient Greece and Rome, blush was a sign of high social status. In the 18th century in France was the absolute golden age of blush. During Marie Antoinette's reign, over-the-top beauty was the norm, and both men and women would apply bright, circular patches of rouge high on their cheekbones as a symbol of indulgence. After the French Revolution, though showing off that kind of wealth became dangerous, the beauty standards changed fast. In the Victorian era, heavy makeup was seen as vulgar and immoral. Women would literally pinch their cheeks to get that natural flush without wearing any type of makeup. Any rouge that they used was made from subtle stuff like beet juice. It was meant to look like more innocent, youthful glow than actual makeup. It wasn't until the 1920s that mass-produced rouge became a staple for the modern woman, a symbol of rebellion for the flappers. From there, blush trends came and went, and from soft peachy tones of the 60s to the color explosion of the 80s. The modern take on draping is softer than it was in the 80s version, often using cream or liquid formulas for a more blended, ethereal finish. It perfectly combines the sculpted purpose of the 70s technique with our modern love for a healthy, glowy look. It just goes to show you that even the most ancient beauty practices can find a new life on the runway.
Winged liner.
Honest question. Is there any single makeup trend more iconic and more enduring than winged eyeliner? Whether you call it a cat eye or a simple flick, that sharp, extended line has been a symbol of beauty and power for literally thousands of years. Today, it's a staple for everyone from Adele to your next-door neighbor. But its history is one of the richest in all of beauty. The story starts over 12,000 years ago in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. The earliest known eyeliner was a thick, dark substance called kohl. In ancient Egypt, men and women of high status would line their eyes with it, often extending the line into a dramatic wing. But this wasn't just for looks. The Egyptians believed that kohl had magical and medicinal properties. They thought it could protect them from spirits. And they were kind of right. Scientists have found that the lead-based substance in the kohl actually boosted nitric oxide production in the skin, which helped strengthen the immune system against eye infections. The dark soot also helped reduce the glare from the harsh desert sun. So for ancient Egyptians, winged eyeliner was a mix of beauty, spirituality, and practical protection from the elements. For centuries after Egypt's fall, heavy eyeliner wasn't really a thing in the West. It wasn't until the 20th century that it made its big comeback. And what was that trigger, you ask? The discovery of King Tut's tomb in 1922. This sparked a massive cultural obsession with all things ancient Egyptian, a craze known as Egyptomania. The bold eye makeup of the ancients became the height of fashion. The quote-unquote flapper look of the Roaring '20s and its dark, kohl-rimmed, smoky eye was a direct result of this obsession with the ancient Egyptian fashion. But the winged eyeliner we know today has really cemented itself originally in the 1950s. The golden age of Hollywood, the glamorous movie stars of the age became the world's beauty icons. Actresses like Marilyn Monroe, Sophia Loren, and the amazing Audrey Hepburn made the precise, flicked-out cat eye the definition of elegance and femininity. It was the cleaner, less smoky version of that in the 20s, and the look designed to make the eye look more upturned and more alluring on camera. The 1960s took that classic wing and turned up the volume. The icons like Twiggy and Bridget Bardot played with even bolder, more graphic liner looks, sometimes drawing in the crease or adding fake lower lashes for a more dramatic, doll-like effect. From there, liner was just kept evolving, from the smudgy grunge of the 90s to the super sharp Instagram perfect wing of the 2010s. Winged eyeliner has proven it has incredible staying power. It's a look so powerful that it's traveled from ancient gods and queens to Hollywood starlets and modern-day icons, and it has never lost its power.
Contouring.
Before contouring was a verb that launched 1,000 YouTube tutorials, it was a secret of the stage. Today we associate contouring with that chiseled, sculpted look made famous by celebrities like Kim Kardashian, who brought the technique to the masses in the 2010s. But the idea of using makeup to reshape the face is much older, with a history rooted in theater and the art of transformation. The earliest use of contouring can be traced back to the 1500s on Elizabethan stages. Actors would use chalk and soot on their faces, the chalk to highlight and the soot to create shadows. This helped audiences who were often sitting far away see the actors' facial expressions under dim lighting. When the theaters moved indoors and got artificial lighting in the 1800s, soot was replaced with grease paint, but the idea was the same. Use light and dark to create dimension that harsh stage lights would wash out. Contouring made the jump from stage to screen in the early days of cinema. German actress Marlene Dietrich was a master of contouring in the 1920s and 30s, using shading to emphasize her cheekbones for black and white films. Makeup artist Max Factor, a Hollywood legend, is credited for perfecting the technique for film. He knew that without shading, faces looked flat on camera. In 1945, his makeup school released the first ever public tutorial on how to contour based on face shape. Still for decades, it was mostly a pro technique used by stars like Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe, not something everyday people did. The modern contouring boom really comes from two places. The first is the vibrant world of drag culture. For decades, drag queens have been the masters of transformation, using contouring not just to enhance, but to completely reconstruct their faces to create high cheekbones, slimmer noses, and more feminine jawlines. This dramatic style of sculpting was essentially for their performance and was a community secret long before it hit the internet. And the second, of course, was the rise of social media and reality TV in the 2000s and 2010s. When Kim Kardashian posted a photo of her face mid-contour with all the stripes and highlights and shadows, it pulled back the curtain on a Hollywood secret. Suddenly, everyone had access to this transformative technique. It sparked a global phenomenon with endless tutorials and products designed to help people get the chiseled look at home. What started with soot and chalk on a dimly lit stage has become a multi-billion-dollar industry and a staple in millions of makeup bags. From the sacred coal of ancient Egypt to the high-tech serums of South Korea, it's pretty clear that makeup trends are so much more than just passing fads. They're a rich tapestry woven from history, culture, technology, and art. A frosted lip can connect us to the glamour of old Hollywood, while a sculpted cheekbone links us to centuries of stage performance. These looks come and go, but each time they return, they're reinvented, telling us as much about today as they did about the past. They show us that our desire for self-expression and beauty is a timeless human thing. So the next time you blend your blush up into your temples or spend a few minutes patting in your essence, know that you're a part of a long and fascinating story. What current makeup trend do you think has the most interesting history? Or is there a vintage look you wish would make a comeback? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy this little dive into beauty history, don't forget to like the video and subscribe on all platforms: YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and renderingbeauty.com/podcast. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.